Looking forward to the week. We're doing a lot of business here, from what I can understand.
Bobbie?
Yes.
Tom, I am rolling.
All right.
He's rolling. Where are you Okay.
Tom, welcome to Dallas.
Thank you very much.
Is it your first time at the Dallas Musicals?
Yes, it is. I've played here in a number of different venues. I've actually done some jazz gigs here with my jazz trio. And then back in the day, I had a country band for about 15 years. I've played here at Fort Worth several times.
And what was the country band called?
The Full Moon Band, Tom Wopat and you know. But it was fun.
Well, anyway, what you're here for now is starring in Chicago.
Yes.
This fantastic musical. I love the musical.
It's a great musical.
It's a rare time when a musical becomes a movie, isn't it? And
Right.
most of the time it's the other way around.
Right. It's worked both ways, but this is one of the first successful movie musicals in a number of years. And what it's done for us is that it's raised the visibility of our touring show quite a bit, and you know, the people know the name, they have a connection with it, and at the same time they seem to realize that it's not the movie that they're coming to see, it's the stage musical, and they're different. There's a lot of similarities, but there's a lot of differences as well.
Well, that brings up a question I had planned to ask you. In what way are the let me rephrase it. In what way is the musical similar to the movie?
Just in the way that the musical is a series of vignettes, basically. They call it, I think the subtitle on the script is a vaudeville, meaning an entertainment of sorts, as opposed to your traditional movie musical or your traditional musical like Oklahoma, which has, it has the scenes and sets and all that stuff. This is pretty much presentational and representational. The actors, they act out the show on the stage, and the dancers, when they're not working, are basically watching the show. It's a really cool thing. It's a nice combination. I think both media have treated this story, it works equally well in both media, both the movie and on stage.
Have you always had a background in musical theater?
Oh, yeah. I started when I was in junior high in Wisconsin. I had a music teacher who kind of took me under his wing, and I started doing leading men in musicals when I was 12. So it's been over 40 years now.
So when did you veer off from musicals and stage to television?
Television. Well, I auditioned. Actually, I was in New York. I had done a Broadway show already when I auditioned for the Dukes of Hazzard. And I had just done an off-Broadway version of Oklahoma. That was the last production Richard Rodgers saw. And they, about a week after I was done with that, I got a call to go in and read for, actually I read for the other part. I read for Bo, for John's part. And they asked me if I would be interested in flying to California and testing for it. So I read on a Wednesday, flew to California, tested with John on Friday, and 10 days after that we started filming in Georgia. So it was like overnight.
And so when you went to Los Angeles then is when you switched and read the other role?
Yeah, that's when they switched it off, yeah, and I read the other part. And then I had just really gotten a foot in the door in New York. I'd only been there a year and had already been on Broadway, and then all of a sudden we moved to LA to do the show. After we did 5 in Georgia, and then we went to LA.
And how long did the Dukes of Hazzard run?
It was on for 7 years. Yeah, we started filming in '78. The last show showed in '85. And then I left LA in '87 and moved to Nashville. I just really didn't care for LA very much. But then I've been back. I did another show. I was on the Sybil show for a while with Sybil Shepherd. And TV is an interesting medium. I'm more comfortable, I think, in the stage stuff. But I'm sure I'll be doing more TV in the future.
Of course, it still plays in reruns.
Oh, yeah.
I hope the residuals are good.
Oh, yeah, I see a little taste every now and then.
And your character was named?
Luke.
Luke.
Luke
Yes.
Duke, yes. Quite a moniker.
I see that you have this CD, The Still of the Night.
Right.
And for your information, we've already shot a
Oh, cool.
close-up of this. What's the theme? You have some great songs on here.
It's a beautiful record. I've made several records. I've always made country records before this. But when I was doing Annie Get Your Gun on Broadway, we made the cast record, and the people at Angel Records asked me if I'd be interested in doing a kind of a Sinatra-ish record. And I said, yeah, you bet. So we made this record, and it's a collection of standards and a couple of Broadway show tunes, and a couple of Jimmy Webb tunes. And the flow of the record it's very romantic, it's very subdued, but I'm really, really proud of it. It's probably the best thing I've ever done vocally.
Well, I tell you, I know your wonderful voice, and the selection here makes me want to just put it on the machine.
You're going to like it very much.
I know I shall.
Yeah.
Okay, just a second here. Okay. You were Tony nominated for Annie Get Your Gun.
Mm-hmm.
Did that make a big difference in your career?
You know what? It's hard to say. I think so. I think that the visibility of Annie Get Your Gun, the combination of that, the success of that show and our visibility through it, and then this record that I made at the same time, I think it kind of represents the second kind of peak of my career. The first one being the Dukes of Hazzard, of course. But I think that this, I get a whole new profile from this. Because I had replaced in musicals before. I'd been on Broadway several times before that, but always replacing somebody in a role. And it's not the same impact as originating a role. Originating a role is like being a father as opposed to being a stepfather. And so the Annie Get Your Gun thing was really significant for me. And also just in a personal career sort of way, just the opportunity to work with Bernadette Peters 8 times a week and doing Irving Berlin songs 8 times a week. I get goosebumps about it. It was so exciting and so much fun.
Getting back to Chicago, when you went into this, were you at all intimidated by the fact that Richard Gere did it in the movie?
Yeah, I'll musical him any day. I think he did a great job, from what I can tell. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard really good things about him. But I mean, this is what I do for a living, and I like to think I've achieved a certain level of of accomplishment at it. So, I'd take my chances, up against him one-on-one. I know I sing a lot more than he does, so I'd be surprised if, it's apples and oranges. It really isn't a competition, but at the same time, I feel like I could have done a very fine job in the movie as well.
This is just parenthetical, and this
Right.
will not be on the air. But I hope you forgive me for answering that or asking.
Oh,
that
no,
question.
not at all. No.
I loved her answer. That's the most fun I've had in a couple of weeks at
Oh,
least.
good.
Okay. And again, this is more for my information than for the interview. Patrick Swayze did Chicago
Right.
in L.A.
Los Angeles.
And then wasn't he planning to go on tour?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know his whole story. I think he actually did it in New York first, and then did it in Los Angeles. I know they wanted to have him in the show for the Los Angeles run, but I saw him, and he did a fine job. His voice was kind of tore up. He was kind of hoarse when I saw him. But I don't know if he was supposed to do it on tour or what. But I got the job, and I got 2 kids in college, so I'll take the job.
Well, Tom, again, thanks for your time today. I've really enjoyed
My
meeting
pleasure,
you.
Bobbie.
And I'm just so excited about seeing you tonight on stage.
Oh, it'll be fun. Come and see me afterwards. I'll be up by the concession stand.
Oh, very
Yeah.
good. I shall.
Keep hawking these things,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, okay. Well,
Tom,
wait.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna get a couple of second shots.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, and he's going to have to reverse the camera
Okay.
so I can re-ask the questions. I'll do that. And the lady with me tonight is Betty Bob Buckley, who is the mother of Betty Buckley.
Oh, really?
Do you know Betty?
I've met her.
Betty
I'm not
yeah.
a, I'm an acquaintance. I'm not a
but
friend.
I
would say.
don't think Betty is coming tonight. You know, Betty is living now.
Oh, I did not know that here.
She bought a ranch here.
Wow,
she-
good for her.
She is a Texas girl. She's from Fort
I
Worth.
didn't know that.
And she bought a ranch near Fort Worth, and she's into, of all things, cutting horses. She was always into
cool.
horses. She was always into horses as a kid.
Right.
And she,
Amazing.
oh, people still talk about it.
It was fun to shoot, boy. I used to.
Bobbie, mic up, please.
Yes, at about this level,
You are perfect.
ABC.
And
Listen how her voice clears up for her shot. Jeez, that's great.
You just put it in a little higher register. Well, you know that
Ba-ba-boom,
as
there
a
it goes.
singer. You know that as a singer. Okay. In what way is the musical similar to the movie?
Well, I think the fact that it's set up as a series of vignettes, you know, the subtitle of the script is like a vaudeville entertainment.
Okay. Let's see.
Where's your list? Oh, you got
I'm
it.
trying to recreate. I want to try to. Well, that's the fact that you were Tony nominated for Annie Get Your Gun, has that helped your career?
Oh, I would say so, yeah, definitely. I think the combination of working on Annie Get Your Gun and making
Okay, I'll ask that another way. When you won the Tony for Annie Get Your Gun,
I didn't win.
excuse me.
Okay.
When you were Tony nominated for Annie Get Your Gun, did that give a big boost to your career?
Yeah, I would say it had to, definitely. You know, between that and the record that we made.
Okay. Did you have a background in musical theater?
I actually started when I was in grade school. I had a teacher that.
When did you veer off from the musical theater to television?
Well, actually, I had just been on Broadway in a show, and then I did an off-Broadway production of Oklahoma.
Were you or are you intimidated by the fact that Richard Gere is associated with the movie?
You know, I mean, I've heard he did a good job. I've not seen it yet, but I'd take my chances.
Let's see. Oh, I know the CD. I'm looking at this CD, The Still of the Night, and there are a lot of great songs on here. What's the theme of it?
Kind of, it's about romance, and it's about romance that's not always really clear cut.
Okay. I think that'll do it.
Good.
Okay.
All right.
Great. I want to, would you mind to autograph
Oh,
this?
no, not at all.